And welcome everybody to this next installment of African Travels Destination Exploration in partnership with AAA Northeast. We are so delighted to have this opportunity to partner with AAA Northeast to bring you at least a glimpse of some of the very best of Africa, one of the most exciting destinations on our continent, and absolutely sure to guarantee that you're going to have a life-changing experience when you travel there. So today we wanted to take a look at some ultimate experiences. Africa is full of those wow moments, and every trip to Africa is absolutely life-changing. And there are truly just a wealth of ultimate experiences. Just to choose a few to feature today is so difficult. But I wanted to start in Namibia. For those of you not familiar where Namibia is, this is the country in the southwest part of the continent of Africa. And today we're going to start there by going there by train. So we love to work with a company called Rovis Rail, and many of you may have heard of them. Rovis Rail really provides one of the most ultimate in luxury experiences when traveling by train anywhere in the world, and their trains are certainly among the very best on the planet. It is an incredible trip. It starts actually in South Africa, in Pretoria, and then it will go through the western part of South Africa, and then pretty much traverses the whole of the country of Namibia from from south to north. The train passes through some incredible landscape by day, and it really is a very, very luxurious experience. And by night and in the evenings, you have just a wonderful opportunity to sit in the bar, and the accommodations are absolutely fantastic. You will be seeing wildlife along the way. It is truly, truly an amazing experience. When you're traveling on this journey, one of the stops that will be made, because stops are made almost daily, will be in Kimberley. And Kimberley, of course, is one of the most famous diamond mines in all of Africa. It's called the Big Hole. And one of the first diamonds that was found in Kimberley is the Eureka diamond, which we can see here on the left-hand side. It was actually a young boy was playing with it as a marble, and somebody came along that recognized just what it might be. They sent it off for testing and analysis, and it turned out to be one of the biggest diamonds ever found. And it is therefore called the Eureka diamond, and that was the beginning of the diamond mining industry in South Africa. We will also, once we cross over into the over the border into Namibia, we're going to come to Fish River Canyon. And this canyon is every bit as big as the Grand Canyon and every bit as spectacular. So it's really a great opportunity to visit a part of Namibia that so few people ever actually get to go and see. And while we're in this area, we're also going to go to Garris Park and see the quiver trees. I always love the name. This is so apt for these trees. It does certainly look like a quiver of arrows. And it just always intrigues me who thinks up these names for these places or these features in nature. But when you're here, you're also going to travel through the Sosuvlei area or region of Namibia. This is a feast for the senses. It's a photographer's paradise. To find an oryx walking like this in the dunes is absolutely spectacular. Imagine coming home with images like this. And one of the great things about traveling on this train is, yes, several nights are spent on board the train, but we also do a couple of nights off the train where we go to a lodge. And in Sosuvlei is somewhere where we do that. So it's just an opportunity to kind of find your land legs again and enjoy an overnight in a lodge and be able to see this part of the country. Then continuing on, we will take you to the Otjiwarongo Cheetah Conservation Area. And what surprises so many people is because all of the images that I've showed you so far of Namibia have pretty much shown desert, and that really is what it's all about. Namibia is a very dry, arid desert country, and yet everybody is shocked and amazed to find that there is a wealth of wildlife here, including cheetahs, but not only cheetahs. In the Etosha area and in other parts of Namibia, we've got elephants and rhinos and giraffes and lions. It is just truly, truly amazing. So this trip extends all the way up to Etosha, and it is one of the places where we'll spend a night at a lodge in Etosha. There are other trips that can be done by the train. Its most famous trip and most regularly done trip is from Pretoria to Cape Town. And there is another train that does this as well, the blue train, which is equally as famous, and both of them are equally as luxurious. And at African Travel, we love to bring this to you. And I should just add here that while I talked about the train journey in Namibia, it is absolutely possible to do Namibia on an independent travel basis where you're not on the train at all. You can move around from one area to the other of the country. And at African Travel, we excel in creating those kinds of opportunities and those kinds of itineraries for you. I now want to move on to Botswana. And what I love about Botswana is the fact that it actually shares a border with Namibia. And we saw in Namibia all of that desert. And yet here in Botswana, you're going to see a very, very different landscape. So moving around Botswana, we usually do this. There are several areas of Botswana that are worth visiting, and we'll do this by bush flight, a very safe, a very reliable way of getting around. It's almost like the flying doctor service that is offered in so many parts of the world, but here we're doing flying tourist service. It's a really efficient and great way to move around this country. One of the reasons I love Botswana, well, there are many. And the safari experience is absolutely exceptional. It's fantastic. But if you are really looking just to escape, Botswana is one of the most perfect places on the planet to be able to do that. And if you want a romantic interlude, that isolation, the feeling of being out there and yet at the same time being so pampered in five-star luxury, Botswana absolutely ticks all of the boxes. And one of the biggest features about Botswana is water, water everywhere. This is home to the Okavango Delta. So the Okavango Delta is the largest inland delta in the world. And all of the animals here have adapted to living in, on, and around the water. And so much of your safari will likewise be done in, on, and around the water. Up in the northern part of the country, the Chobe region, very, very famous for its elephant population, one of the strongest elephant populations anywhere in Africa. And then moving a little bit further south to Makadikari, we actually have salt flats here. So it's not only about the water and the Okavango Delta, there is a variety of landscapes, and you can have so much fun here in the Makadikari area, taking some photographs and going around on ATVs and exploring the salt plains, the salt flats. But you know what's remarkable is even in these parts of Botswana, there are areas where there is terrific wildlife. So and actually here you're going to see 5 species of animal that are rarely seen anywhere else. Up in the top left, we've got a brown hyena. Looks really rather different to any traditional hyena that you see. On the top right, we've got our oryx. We did see those in Namibia, but very few places anywhere in Africa, and certainly nowhere else on Earth are we going to see oryx. Down in the bottom, we have the highly endangered bat-eared fox. And over on the right-hand side, the Kalahari lions. Look how different they look to what we normally expect from a lion. But in the middle, of course, we've got our honey badger. So the honey badger is probably the most elusive of all creatures in Africa. I know people who have been rangers in Africa for 40 years and have never seen a honey badger. I also happen to know some clients that went to Africa for 10 days and they saw 3 honey badgers. That is exceptionally, exceptionally rare. Honey badgers are also the meanest critters in all of Africa. Even the animals are really afraid of them. And then moving up into the northern part of Botswana, again, we've got Selinda. So here there is a very robust population of wildlife, and as a result of that, the wildcat population is phenomenal, leopards particularly. But here you're also going to get some animals that are rarely seen. So up in the top, we've got the wild dog, or as they're now becoming more commonly known, the painted wolf. I love that painted wolf. It just describes, it looks like somebody just took a multitude of colors and splashed them all over this animal. Down on the bottom, we've got a roan antelope. And over on the right-hand side, we have a sable antelope. So, when I was a child growing up in Africa, sable antelopes were everywhere. We saw them all of the time. They are now one of the most endangered animals on the continent. They are in very, very few of them left indeed. And this part of Botswana is one of the rare places that you'll have the opportunity to see them. So I mentioned, of course, the Okavango Delta. This is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And what a superb way to go on safari. Such a different experience from any other part of Africa where you're doing your safari and your game viewing by jeep. Here you really have an amazing, amazing experience indeed. And you're going to get around here a lot of the time by what we call makoras. These are dug out canoes, a very traditional way. And again, what a cool way to go on safari and to see lions and so on and elephants in the water like that. Also in Botswana, we find meerkats. So meerkats are, many of you have probably seen them on television. They are, these wonderful, cute little animals that are they have such amazing character. They live in very, very flat plains. So even the tiniest bit of elevation is so important to them. They just love it. And if you lie very still or sit very still like this, they will absolutely come and explore. They'll get up onto your knees, up onto your waist, even up onto your head. This is a treat for them to have such incredible elevation that they can see so much further than they normally can. And at the end of a day, relaxing in the spa, and the sounds of Africa around you. Who wouldn't want to be there right now? And you've heard me talk previously about sundowners, our wonderful African tradition. And in Botswana, we do sundowners just with a twist. This looks great. Would I love to be boating up to here and getting my gin and tonic right now? You bet I would. And of course, the African sky. You know, the sky is just so magnificent in Africa with a million points of light shining down upon us. And to dine out under the sky in a boma like this, where you're sitting around and having a braifle or a barbecue, we call this braifles in Southern Africa, a barbecue is just a great way to share stories of what you've seen that day, where you've traveled, where else in Africa you've been, and learn about other people's experiences in Africa as well. One of the most wonderful lodges in all of Africa is Kidjara. So this is in Botswana. It's in the Okavango Delta, in the Moremi part of Okavango Delta, which really all year round has an abundance of water. And the attention to detail at this lodge is truly phenomenal. It is part of the Red Carnation Hotel property chain. And it is going to be, without question, the best lodge in Africa in the not too distant future. It just opened in December 2020. It is remarkable. And a feature they have here is the baobab suite. So baobab trees, of course, are found in Africa. They're those trees that many people consider to be the upside down tree because their foliage, they have no foliage for about 9 months of the year, and they have a very stubby branch system. So it looks as though that's their root system that's coming out of this very thick trunk, and that it has been planted upside down. So in the baobab suite, we enter on the ground level where you'll find an entry area, move up, and you're going to find a sitting area with a bathroom. And then onto the third level, we have a traditional bedroom. And on the very top level, we have a star bed. Just a simply incredible way to sleep out under that African sky that I just talked about. You know, this is a truly wow moment in Africa, and it's simply, simply incredible. But wow moments aren't all only about the star beds and so on. Look at this. Imagine coming home with images like this. You will be the talk of your dinner parties, cocktail parties in your villages and towns and cities for days, weeks, and months to come. It is an incredible, incredible experience. We cannot guarantee what your wow experience is. We cannot guarantee that you will have this exact experience. It is nature. Nothing is guaranteed. But we can guarantee you will absolutely have wow experiences. And I wanted to share with you just a summary of this Platinum Botswana itinerary that I've just shown you, just to give you an idea of how it lays out. It starts off in Johannesburg. We then do 3 different lodges and camps in Botswana, ending it all with the glorious, glorious Kidjara, 3 nights there. Moving on to Zambia and Zimbabwe, I told you at the top that I'm originally from Zambia, so very biased here, of course, but this is home on the border of Zambia and Zimbabwe to Victoria Falls. Victoria Falls is the largest curtain of water in the world. It's it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it also happens to be one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. And you can be as adventurous and crazy as you want to be here. You can go zip lining and bungee jumping and take helicopters over the falls. Just magnificent. I get asked all the time, Kevin, I've been to Niagara. Do I really need to go to Victoria Falls? The answer to that is a resounding yes. And even if you just want to be sedate and a little bit more, take it easy. You can. There's a wonderful manicured walkway that goes the full length of the falls with these fantastic turnouts where you can get some amazing photography. Also in Zambia, we love to take you to South Luangwa National Park. This is an area that is so rarely visited by travelers to Africa, and yet the wildlife here is absolutely magnificent. And there's a lodge here that I just simply love. It's called Mfui Lodge. And this lodge was built around a grove of mango trees. And the elephants had been feasting on these mango trees for generations. So after the lodge was built, the elephants were like, well, to heck with your mangoes, with your lodge. We are still coming back to get our mangoes. And the elephants are absolutely creatures of habit. And their habit took them, their paths take them through what is now the lobby and the lounge of the lodge. Now, again, I cannot guarantee that that will happen while you are there and that they will come to eat mangoes. But if they do, this is a wow moment as you're sitting in the lounge, standing in the lobby, and the elephants come up the stairs and they walk right through the lodge to go and get their mangoes in the middle of the lodge's grounds. Complete change now, going up to East Africa, and we're going to Rwanda. So Rwanda is really known for primates. 13 species of primates here that are found nowhere else on the planet. The gorillas are the most well-known, and it is possible to go gorilla trekking here. This will be a life-changing experience. I could spend 30 minutes just talking about gorilla trekking, giving you the ins and outs and nuances of it. But your agents at AAA are sitting ready and waiting, and they will work with us to create the most amazing gorilla trekking experience you could possibly imagine. And the people of Rwanda are simply fantastic. You know, I've said before that people go to Africa for the animals, but they come back raving about how wonderful the people were, the culture was. It is an incredible, incredible country. And one of my favorite lodges, you know, at African Travel, we do everything at that luxury level, 4 and 5 star. But when we can find something that fits that parameter and still is a little bit different, oh my gosh, we love it. So this is the Sati Lodge. I love it. To me, this looks like something right out of Star Wars, and absolutely fantastic in Rwanda. As always, we absolutely know how to get you to any of these countries in the most efficient way possible. And one of your biggest questions is always, when should I go? So you can ask your AAA agent. They'll be happy to explain that to you, the best times to visit, because the countries that we've looked at cover a very wide area within Africa. So we are happy to get those answers to you, and your AAA agents are armed and ready to have all those questions ready answered for you when you have them. In addition to that, you may have questions on visas. What kind of shots are required? Do I need to take malaria prevention? What are the COVID protocols? This is such a big topic right now, and we have all of this covered. And at AAA and the booking center there, you will absolutely be able to get answers to all of those questions. At African Travel, we are all absolutely about sustainability. It is very, very important to us, and every itinerary that we create is going to have a give back or a sustainability feature or features to it. So we're looking after the planet, the wildlife, and of course, the communities. So we love to take the stress out of planning. Let us do that. Let your AAA agent take all the heavy load and do all the work for you while you sit back, relax, and dream about what is absolutely going to be one of the most amazing trips you will ever go on in your life. Full of wow factors, it will honestly and truly be a life-changing experience. With that, I thank you. AAA Northeast is ready to take your booking, and we look forward to welcoming you to Africa. Thank you.